If you walk into my life right now, there's not a lot you would want to take back with you. My house is still a mess, I get very dark every other day, I still make unwise decisions and have no idea how I'm ever getting out of debt. I ruined a lot of friendships, have a bunch of secrets that will accompany me to the grave, and don't truly believe that I'll ever be happy. This is my reality. This is the life I've been living for years, and I've grown accustomed to it. This complete mess, this utter fuck up of a life, undoubtedly is my life, and I might even cherish it. A few years back, it dawned on me that maybe this is it. Maybe this is what I was destined to become. Not a life anyone would envy, but a life that I fought hard for. Looking back, I am quite proud of it. In the face of that much adversity and trouble, I managed to stay nice, caring, helpful, selfless, and even inspired. So if this is really as good as it gets, would I dare to put it all on the line to venture out into unknown territory? It's not much, but I built this. Every pillar that holds up my shitty life has been put there by me. As close to crumbling as they may be, I'm still here. This feeling of not wanting to explore the new territory stems from my two biggest fears in life. The first is ending up alone. Not lonely, because I know I can always connect with someone when I would need social contact for a short period of time, but alone. I've spent a lot of my time being there for others, because you should treat others as you would like to be treated. But what if that is a one-way street? Maybe I should stop chasing those higher forms of relationships and just settle and adapt to the ones I have, in order to ensure that I don't end up alone, even if the ones I end up with hold a little less value than I would want. The other fear is ending up as unfulfilled potential. That one guy you once knew was destined for great things. As you finish up your third bottle of wine at a dinner party and you get to the end of reminiscing, you wonder, whatever happened to that guy? If in my case, the answer would be nothing, rest assured that my biggest fear has come true. However, potential can only be unfulfilled when there is still something you would want to achieve, a goal not yet attained that is within your reach. So why not end it right there? Accept now as forever, and there won't be any potential left to fulfill. For the rest of my years, I could just sit on my barely held together throne, looking over a desolate kingdom that was never going to be more than that. My empire of dirt. It's a weirdly soothing thought when the idea of the future becomes too much. Just move the ending of your story closer to the beginning and accept your fate as a finished tale. Of course, this line of thinking makes no sense and only creeps up and inhabits my mind for a few hours at best. But the fact that it shows up at all is quite terrifying. Because the remedy for this train of thought is to believe that I can get out of this life. The thing that scares me is that I don't know what happens if this thought takes control of me when I don't have the strength to fight back anymore. Luckily, I don't expect that I'll ever have to answer this question, because I don't think I'll lose faith in my own abilities and potential. But questioning the possibility is very important to me, because I want to avoid that moment where I do find the answer at all costs. Because I have spent time exploring this idea, I've identified a few small warning signs that come up on the way to this giving in moment. Through all these years, I've never truly agreed with my way of life and how I handle certain things. I can accept doing that for a bit because it helps me cope with those tough times. But once I notice that I really start agreeing with my way of life or start adding even worse destructive behaviors, the warning signs light up, and I consciously steer my life back in the other direction. I know I can't change everything overnight, so for the time being, I'll use my energy wisely and invest it in the most pressing matters. I can manage a slightly shitty lifestyle if it brings me closer to getting out of that lifestyle. If I can endure a little loss of sleep, a messy house, and a crappy diet for half a year, and end my darkness within the year, I'd happily go through that, as long as it serves a purpose. That brings me to the almost mandatory lesson in my chapters. As helpless as it may sound, for the dark, living life is not a matter of choice. It's a matter of prioritizing. Sure, some habits might be misguided, but you need to trust the fucked up mind to evaluate its own priorities for survival. However, helping out with those priorities and evaluating them together is always very welcome. What doesn't help is just telling them what to do. I know that my life would be better if I changed a bunch of things, but right now, I need to invest the limited amount of energy I have into the matters that keep me alive and going forward. If you know someone with a terrible or hard way of life, help them with what they say they need most, or, especially if it concerns their health, just offer help that doesn't cost them any energy. Your perfect way of living has no value in the empire of dirt, because your empire isn't as fucked as theirs is. It's all right to disagree with what they say they need, but it's imperative that you find out where you can help. To give a quick example, people around me have been telling me for years and years that a clean, tidy, and clutter-free house will give me so much peace and quiet, and they just can't wrap their heads around the fact that I don't put any effort into my house. This conversation always leads to nothing, because it's very hard to explain why I don't have the energy or inclination to get right on that. The math seems pretty simple. A clean house equals peace of mind, so why wouldn't you go for that? In my mind, there's no denying that a clean house would feel good. But even if I would spend all my energy keeping my place tidy, I would still be fucking miserable. The only difference would be that I would now be crying in a clean house instead of a messy one, combined with the fact that I just spend a good bit of my energy on doing something that doesn't really get me anywhere closer to finally getting out of this darkness. If you were to offer me a happy life in a messy house, or a miserable one in a clean house, I'd take the first one in a heartbeat. The way this was solved for me is thanks to my mom. After years of arguing over the state of my house and my inability to maintain it, she stopped talking about it and just decided that she would come over, cleaning supplies in hand, to help me out for an afternoon. It's rather embarrassing that a 28-year-old needs his mommy to wash his dishes, but fuck it. Not all 28-year-olds are dark as fuck. The help was very welcome, because now I could focus on my priorities, would live in a clean house, and as an added benefit, my mom got a good feeling by helping her son out by coming over for coffee and the dishes one afternoon per week. In the end, I am going to be able to take care of myself again. But for this small period of time, that simple, tiny bit of help relieved me of living in a fucked up house and also stopped the ongoing conversation about why I would not clean my goddamn house. Win-win. In most cases, it's that easy. A simple investment of time and effort extended to someone in a dark place, just to relieve some of their stress and free them up to invest their energy as they see fit. Buy someone some groceries if they don't eat well. Drop by just before you go to work if someone has trouble waking up. Or just give a lonely person a call every other day to let them know that they have someone to talk to. For my fellow Dirt Emperors, prioritize. Surviving comes first, happiness second, money third. Everything else comes after. When you dig deep, you know what will get you to the finish line the fastest, so spend your energy on that. Getting out is the goal, but you can only get out if you survive the trip. Tell your dishes they can go fuck themselves if cleaning them will stop you from working on getting better. On the other hand, if living in a clean house does give you a great feeling, you can hold up your middle finger to the idea that a healthy person should go to the gym. At some point, you will have more than enough energy to do all of those things. But that is not right now. Right now, that doesn't even matter. Because it's not about what you can't do. It's about what you can do. Use your energy wisely and try to find someone as willing to help as my mom and many other people in my life, so you can get back to being a proud emperor, gratefully overlooking your shiny empire on a throne of pure gold.